4 World Cups, 12 years of football, from the vuvuzelas of South Africa to the golden sands of Qatar. In that time, the world fell in love with Iniesta's winner, Modric's golden ball, Mbappe becoming a legend at 19, Messi finally holding the trophy he was born to lift. But for every name the world celebrated, there was another player on that pitch, scoring more goals, making more tackles, running further, fighting harder, and getting almost none of the credit. This is the Forgotten Ones, 2010 to 2022. 4 World Cups, 4 heroes the world overlooked. South Africa, 2010. The first World Cup ever held on African soil. The noise was like nothing the tournament had ever heard. Vuvuzelas, 90,000 people inside Soccer City. The weight of history on every single match. Spain arrived as European champions. Xavi, Iniesta, Busquets, the greatest passing team ever assembled. Tiki-taka in full bloom. And at the very tip of that beautiful machine was a quiet, unassuming striker from Langreo in northern Spain. David Villa, known as El Guaje, the Kid. Spain's opening match was a disaster. They lost 1-0 to Switzerland in one of the biggest upsets of any recent World Cup. The pressure immediately fell on Villa, their only recognized striker. The questions came fast. Was he good enough for this stage? He answered by scoring 2 goals against Honduras 3 days later. And from that moment, Villa became Spain's engine. The goal against Chile to send Spain through. The only goal of the match against Portugal in the round of 16. A stunning last-gasp winner against Paraguay in the quarterfinals, after Villa had won the penalty that gave Spain the lead. 5 goals, 1 assist. David Villa was directly involved in 75% of Spain's goals across the entire World Cup. That is a record for a player on a winning team in tournament history. More than Maradona in 1986. More than Pele in 1970. 75%. And then came the final. Netherlands versus Spain. Goalless after 90 minutes. Extra time. The longest 116 minutes in Spanish football history. Andrés Iniesta. A through ball. A finish. 1-0. Spain are world champions. The cameras found Iniesta, shirt off, arms wide, tears streaming. That image became 2010. That image became Spain. That image is printed on walls and magazines, and the collective memory of a generation. David Villa was not on the pitch at that moment. He had been substituted off in the 106th minute, 10 minutes before the goal. He sat on the bench and watched Iniesta score the goal that made history. He had spent 6 games carrying Spain to that bench moment. 75% of their goals, 5 of their 8. The architect of everything. History gave the image to Iniesta. It always does. But without David Villa, there was no Spain to celebrate. Brazil, 2014. A World Cup remembered for chaos and heartbreak on home soil. Germany lifted the trophy in the end. Götze's extra-time winner in the final. Messi carrying Argentina there almost single-handedly. And in the semi-final, the wound that Brazil still hasn't fully healed. Germany 7, Brazil 1. The most shocking scoreline in World Cup history. That is the story the world tells about 2014. But before any of that, before the humiliation, before the final, there was a 22-year-old from a small town in Colombia who was, for 3 unforgettable weeks, the best goal scorer on the planet. James Rodríguez. Colombia arrived in Brazil without their best player. Radamel Falcao, their star striker, had torn his ACL months before the tournament and wouldn't play a single minute. The goals, everyone assumed, would have to come from somewhere else. Somewhere unexpected. James answered that question in the very first match. Group stage against Greece, a clean finish to open the scoring. Colombia won 2-0. Against Ivory Coast, a thumping header. Colombia won 2-1. Against Japan, as a substitute, he turned his marker inside out and chipped the goalkeeper from the edge of the box. Colombia won 4-1. Group winners, 3 from 3. 3 goals in 3 group games. Then came Uruguay in the round of 16. And what James did in the 28th minute has been replayed more times than almost any other goal in World Cup history. A looping header dropped toward him just outside the box. He chested it down in one motion, swiveled his whole body mid-air, and volleyed it first time into the underside of the crossbar, and in. It was voted Goal of the Tournament. It won the FIFA Puskas Award for the best goal scored anywhere in world football that year. Commentators ran out of words for it in real time. James added a second in that match. Colombia won 2-0. 5 goals in 4 games. A nation of 48 million people without their brightest star, dreaming bigger than they ever had before. The quarterfinal was Brazil, the hosts, the pressure of an entire country weighing on every decision the referee made that day. Colombia lost 2-1. James scored their goal, a calm penalty in the 80th minute, even as his team went out. Brazil's David Luiz walked over afterward, swapped shirts with him, and asked the crowd to applaud him. The stadium did. 6 goals in 5 matches, 1 in every single game he played. 6 goals were more than Messi, more than Neymar, more than Müller, the eventual champion's own top scorer. James Rodríguez won the Golden Boot as the outright top scorer of the entire 2014 World Cup. And here's the strange part of this story. Unlike the others in this series, James actually got the trophy, the individual one. The recognition was real, immediate, enormous. Real Madrid signed him within weeks for a fee north of 80 million euros. So why is he in this series at all? Because ask anyone today what they remember about the 2014 World Cup, and you'll hear about Götze's winner. You'll hear about Brazil, 7-1, the collapse nobody saw coming. You'll hear about Messi lifting a golden ball he never wanted in a final his team lost. You will rarely hear, unprompted, that the tournament's actual top scorer, the man who outscored every single player at that World Cup, was a 22-year-old Colombian who did it without his best striker, without a semi-final appearance, without a trophy to show for the team's performance. The goal against Uruguay still gets clipped and replayed everywhere. But the achievement behind it, 6 goals, a golden boot, a nation falling back in love with football, has quietly slipped out of the conversation about that World Cup. James Rodríguez won. And somehow, 12 years later, most people forget he was even there. Russia, 2018. France won. Mbappe at 19. Modric being the best player. The world celebrated France and fell in love with Croatia's fairy tale run. Croatia, a nation of just 4 million people, reaching a World Cup final for only the 2nd time in their history, playing extra time in 3 consecutive knockout matches, running further than any team in the tournament, never stopping, never breaking. Luka Modric was rightly the name on everyone's lips, the best player in the world that year, the man who finally broke Messi and Ronaldo's hold on the Ballon d'Or. But Croatia's journey was built on something more physical, more brutal, more selfless. His name was Mario Mandžukić, 32 years old, Juventus striker, a player built like a tank and willing to run through walls for his country. And at the 2018 World Cup, across 7 matches, 3 of which went to extra time, he gave Croatia everything he had. Let me take you through what this man actually did at this tournament. Group stage against Nigeria. Mandžukic's movement caused Nigeria's own goal and won the penalty that Modric converted. Croatia won 2-0. Round of 16 against Denmark, Mandžukić scored the equalizer in the 4th minute. Croatia eventually won on penalties after extra time. Quarter-final against host nation Russia, Mandzukic provided the assist for Kramaric's equalizer. Another extra time match, another penalty shootout. Croatia threw again. Semi-final against England. Wembley wasn't enough. This was Moscow. England led 1-0. Croatia were exhausted, having played extra time in every knockout game. A lesser team, a team without a Mario Mandzukic, goes home. 109th minute, extra time. Mandzukic latched onto Perisic's header and drove the ball into the net. Croatia 2, England 1. Croatia were in a World Cup final for the first time since 1998. And it was Mandzukic, 32 years old, legs burning, lungs empty, who sent them there. Then came the final against France. And here is where the story becomes almost unbearably painful. 18th minute. Griezmann's free kick floated into the box. Mandzukic, trying to defend, headed it accidentally into his own net. Own goal. France 1, Croatia 0. The first own goal in World Cup final history. The cameras found his face, jaw clenched, eyes down. The expression of a man carrying the weight of a nation's dream and watching it slip. He could have collapsed. A lesser player would have. Instead, 69th minute, Lloris, the French goalkeeper, inexplicably fumbled the ball under no pressure. Mandzukic pounced. Croatia 2, France 3. He had scored in the final. He had given Croatia hope. France held on, won 4-2. Mandzukic had scored at both ends of the World Cup final, an own goal and a real goal, the only player in history to do so. 3 goals across the tournament, 1 crucial assist, goals in the semi-final and final, man of the match level performances in every knockout game. And when the tournament ended, the world talked about Modric, about Mbappe, about Griezmann, about the fairy tale of small Croatia reaching the final. The man who literally bled for that fairy tale, who scored the goal that put Croatia in the final and the goal that gave them hope in it, was mentioned as a footnote. Qatar, 2022. The most dramatic World Cup final in history. Argentina versus France. 3-3 after extra time. Penalties. Messi finally lifting the trophy the whole world had willed him toward for 20 years. The images wrote themselves. Messi's face, the trophy raised, the crowd in blue and white, the most watched sporting moment of the decade. And somewhere in the middle of that Argentina midfield, running, fighting, recovering, controlling, was a 23-year-old from La Pampa that most of the world couldn't name. Alexis Allister, Brighton midfielder. Irish and Scottish descent. Born in Argentina. And at the 2022 World Cup, one of the most complete and important players in the tournament. Let me give you the numbers that nobody talked about. Allister started 6 of Argentina's 7 games. Argentina won all 6 of those games. The one game he did not start, the opening match against Saudi Arabia, Argentina lost. Draw your own conclusions. He made 40 ball recoveries across the tournament. Second, only to Rodrigo de Paul among Argentine players. He completed 114 passes into the final third with an 88% accuracy. He committed 1 foul in 7 matches. 1. Total. He scored against Poland in the group stage, a goal that secured Argentina's progression to the knockout rounds. Without it, the whole story may have been different. And in the final itself, against France, the whole world watching, it was Allister who made the run through the French defense, before squaring it across goal for Di Maria to score Argentina's second. The goal that made it 2-0. The goal that gave Argentina control of the final, before Mbappe's extraordinary comeback. He was involved in the pivotal moment of the World Cup final, in the final, against France, with everything at stake. And when the full-time whistle blew on penalties, when Argentina were world champions for the first time since 1986, the cameras found Messi, then Di Maria, then Emi Martinez, then Lautaro. Allister stood in the crowd of blue and white shirts, arms raised, 23 years old, a world champion. His family has Irish roots. He grew up in La Pampa, he played for Brighton, and he had just won more balls, and made more decisive passes than almost anyone else in the entire tournament. No individual award, no golden boot, no golden ball, no headline, just a winner's medal and a quiet walk back to Brighton. Since then, he has joined Liverpool, won the Premier League, become one of the best central midfielders in England. His stock is rising. The world is beginning to see it. But in 2022, when Argentina conquered the world, Alexis Mac Allister was the silent engine that made it all run. History should remember him. The cameras didn't stop long enough to try.